All set?
Yeah. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. And we'll do the meeting minutes first off. And the first one is January 9th, 2016, and that was one of our workshop meeting minutes. So I'll make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes from January 9th. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
Nope.
Okay, I have one thing, and number 4 there, discussed highway budget proposed and presented by Jim Stockwell and Cookie Heber. Let's take out that next sentence, Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that says highway was receiving about $20,000 per year from mitigation grants through the state. That's not true, so let's take that right out of there. We don't need that in there. And the next sentence too, that this has ended and will not be continuing in 2016. Okay, we can take that out of there too. Let's say those. Okay, that all right with you guys?
Yep.
Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
And I'll abstain because I wasn't at the meeting.
Oh, okay. Okay, then we have the ones for 114, and that's the regular selectmen's meeting. Okay, I'll make a motion then that we accept the minutes from January the 14th. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on these?
No, just to say, I like the first version of the minutes because it said the Easter Bunny was there. And I didn't notice that. Did you guys notice?
I hope nobody had noticed until I revised them.
Okay,
So
all,
I'm good with them.
all in favor?
Aye.
And 117. That's our last budget workshop. So I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of January 17th. Is there a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
second it.
Okay, any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we can review the manifest. Everybody had a chance to look at the manifest, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
There's not much on there, so I'll make a motion that we approve the manifest for January the 27th. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on any of these? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Have any of you, has anyone heard from Beth why the expenditures aren't up on Google Sheets?
Oh, they should be.
I didn't check today, but as of yesterday, when the other stuff came through, you know, the expenditures weren't up there, so,
I thought they were.
well, maybe since I checked, so I'll
Well, the
check.
budget to actual was there.
Yes, it was, so it's hard,
With the old budget figures,
right.
so I don't know, you don't know, huh?
No, I just printed out the highway stuff and then the budget to actual.
Okay, so I guess the expenditures weren't there yet. Okay, treasurer's not here yet, she might be coming. The highway report, pretty basic,
Yeah.
just not much going on in the highway. Good weather, pretty good weather, so just working on maintenance issues, so.
Hey, I had occasion to go through some old minutes the other day, and I noticed that it was either back in October or November, we discussed having Dean put up some plywood on the Blum property. And the minutes say that you were gonna talk to him about that. Plywood's not up, so I was just wondering what the status of
I
it
did
is.
talk to him, and he said he was gonna do it.
Okay.
He hasn't done it, so
Well, I think, yeah, every time I go by there and I see the door open and the windows
Yeah,
exposed and stuff.
should at least have plastic on it, right?
Something, yeah, and now,
I imagine the rain and snow gets in there.
well, if we get a big blow, you know, a big blizzard, it's gonna soak the floor and at least the entryway, so,
Okay.
yeah, I think we should.
Okay. Yeah, Maria had brought this up too, right, Maria?
Yep, I think it's a
So-
good idea.
Yeah, okay. All right, I will talk to him about that. Okay, anything else on highway?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Okay, new business. Sean Russell wants to unmerge her lots. That was the result of the ZBA hearing we had last week. So the lots were merged by the town involuntarily in 2005. That's the notation on the assessment card anyhow. And she would like to have the lots unmerged. So do you have the lot numbers? So we can put it in a motion. Okay, make a motion then to unmerge lots number 3-231.1 and 3-231.2.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
We had a community action report from Sam Green. There wasn't anything in there. Did you see it? Did you read it? The community action report that you sent? Stop
it's
in.
in-
I thought
Okay.
there was no information in there.
Yeah. I did glance at it this evening before we began.
Okay.
Does this sound accurate to you both? I mean, you're kind of the,
Yeah,
Yeah, not much has happened.
okay.
So he does. I told him while he was there that he could have one of his workshops at the town hall if he wanted to.
oh, great.
Yeah, he's having two, one on current use and one on credits and exemptions.
Well, I went to both of those last year, and they were great, especially the current use.
Mm-hmm.
And, Margaret, if you happen to be talking to him, and if by some luck, he was scheduling those, the third and fourth week in March, then I would go. I mean, I don't expect him to work around me.
Okay, well, I'll still let him know, because he was trying to gather on everyone's time, because those ones are gonna be the current use, and the exemptions is gonna be done in line.
Yeah.
And we'll do the assessing 101, will be done here.
Well, I'll be home from March 10th to the 26th. And
Okay.
again, I don't expect it to go around me, but it would be great luck for me if it was during those times.
Okay.
Thanks, Margaret.
Okay, anything else on that report? No? Okay, I was gonna appoint Artie Fredette to the ZBA, but I think I'll hold off on that. If we appoint him to the ZBA, then it's only to finish out the year, which is only another month. So, and he's a alternate now, so if by chance there was gonna be a meeting, he would sit on the board anyhow.
Sure.
By Skype, I guess. So we'll wait till after the town elections and at our organizational meeting, when we make appointments, and then we'll talk about appointing him then. We have an abatement for Thayer to sign. And was the supplemental tax warrant sent out with
No,
Fraser
because
Trust? No, not
to
yet.
my understanding, that's gonna be signed first.
Oh,
And I
okay,
have to call Avatar to walk me through doing
Okay.
supplemental tax warrant.
okay.
Because in amongst this, I have to change the name,
Okay.
say the reason in there.
Mhm, I see. Hi, Karen. How's the skipper doing?
Sailing away. Yeah.
Okay, we have a application to use the town hall in October.
Boy, somebody's planning ahead.
Yeah.
October.
Okay, we have the certificate of insurance, can we see that? Okay, well, I guess I should make a motion on this, so people have
Who is it?
it's Brian, how do you pronounce his name?
Tiptoe.
Thibodeau. Brian Thibodeau, and he has the insurance certificate. I guess it's a wedding?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Great.
so I'll make a motion that we let him use the town hall on 10/10, I believe the date was. or
Yes, they
10/4.
did request though, day before and day after. Day before
Okay.
for setup and day after.
Yeah, that's all
Clean up.
right. You checked and there's no conflict there with anybody else using it? What is
No.
it, a weekend, right?
It's Columbus Day, it's a Monday, the 10th.
That's when we have our rummage sale normally. What's the 10th, a Sunday?
No, the 10th, I believe, is a Monday.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so you'll be here on the day before?
The Saturday and Sunday usually,
But we're done by,
you're usually done.
Two,
by
I can call
2.
them and just make,
Three.
double check with them.
We're out of here by
Everything
3
usually.
Uh,
on Sunday.
I mean, we can always close up earlier.
Yeah.
okay.
What,
if
Yeah,
that
the 10th
works.
is Monday.
so the wedding is actually on the 10th?
Yes.
Wow, that's the day I got married. Okay, so, and you guys will be done in the afternoon on Sunday
Yeah,
then? All right, yeah.
we're normally done by 2, but we can close
Okay.
earlier if they need to
Just
get
let them
in
know
here.
that, all right?
Okay.
Did
You made a motion.
just a motion?
I don't think there was a second.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and now we have the letters for CAI, the Tim-wide solicitation letters that he sends out to the residents of town.
They're both the same, they just need 2 hard copies.
Oh, okay. verify that we're keeping the lots and map numbers the same.
Yes. I'll forward you the email, but I got them too.
Okay, and did Dean fill out the requisition for the plow? Dean wants to buy a plow for truck one. It's a four-way plow. It'll cost $2,500 to $3,000. This plow will update the current two-way plow to accommodate the updated valve bank that has been completed in truck one. So, what do you think?
What's the difference between a four-way and a two-way plow?
I don't know. Cookie here, you know, Cook?
Yeah, and just angles, there's 4 different ways you can angle that plow versus the two-way right now. So what basically the driver has to do is, you know, push up, back up, and angle it to the left or the right, where this one positions differently. And we did spend almost $4,000 2 years ago to upgrade that valve bank, which needed work to begin with, but for an additional $1,000, we upgraded it to the 4-way valve system in the truck
Oh, I see.
to accommodate. So it lessens wear and tear on the truck, you know, the transmission backing up and stuff in time, you know, and the driver.
Oh, I know the backing up thing, because
Yeah.
it's at that intersection between Streeter Woods and Verse Houses,
Mhm.
lots of backing up.
Right,
That's my dog's.
so, and, you know,
Canals.
this has been something that he was looking for once the valve bank was updated, but put it off last year because we were
Okay, all right.
not really in the market to do it then, so. And it could happen or
Okay.
not, I mean,
And this will just go, we'll move forward to a new truck. I mean, truck one's pretty old now too, but this plow will accommodate a new plow truck. that
it could.
get
And you can
one.
also sell the two-way one to recoup some of the monies from that
Yeah.
as well,
Uh-huh,
you know.
all right,
There's still people in the market for those two-way plows that we have now.
yeah, okay.
So it's not, you know, there'll be some offset of costs, but, and it may not even happen if he doesn't find the right deal. You know, that's what it is, but he just wanted the okay.
Any idea what we can get for the other plow?
No, he didn't say.
Do plow prices tend to go down in the spring or summer, Cookie?
Last summer, they were lower than 2,500, so, and the price of scrap is low too, very, very low, so, you know, people aren't scrapping, so there's a few more of them out there available, so, could be, okay.
So he's got one in mind, right?
He does,
Okay.
and he's been
I mean, he
speaking.
put on the requisition 2,500 to 3,000. Can you be more specific on what the price?
He said he would he'd like to stay under 25, but that was last year's pricing. But this gentleman here that he's been speaking with is in Maine, and he has quite a few of them, so
Uh-huh.
he might even consider taking ours in trade for a partial as well, so, but he's not gonna give it away either,
Right.
so. But I mean, if you okay the requisition, I mean, obviously he's gonna let you know before you go and get it. I mean, you normally does anyway, but.
Well, it's complicated to plow those. There's that intersection and there's the one up the Davenport Road. I mean, I hear the truck doing the whole dance up
Oh.
there too in front of our house. And
Uh-huh.
I mean, a four-way would probably speed this up a lot. It's quite a process to plow. It's a funny intersection, but there's lots of backing up to get the snow out of there. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, and if the truck is rigged for it,
Mhm.
so,
Okay, I'll make a motion then that we accept the requisition for the new four-way plow. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Josh, why don't you come down so I can hear you? Town meeting, huh? Coming up. Are you on the ballot for moderator again? Good. Okay, you want to talk about the warrant articles? And the petition article in particular? Okay, because we have a request for outside speakers, non-resident speakers to come and present information on, this is the AEDs and everything. Okay. And you just want our input on it, huh? Because this is your decision to make. Have we ever done it in the past?
I'm not aware of any precedent on this in terms of, I guess my concern is that, keep the meeting in order, keep allotted times for speakers, and then allow the citizens to decide if we actually want somebody from the outside.
Oh, so you would put it to a vote then for the town to allow somebody who's not a voter to be able to speak at the meeting?
That was what was suggested to me.
Okay. All right, last year we had a pretty controversial warrant article with the wind farms and everything. And if you had allowed outside speakers on that, you could imagine what we could have had. So, but nobody asked you, right, to have it, bring in any outside speakers or that. And that was probably because the Board of Selectmen had quite a few informational public hearings on that. What do you think about the Board of Selectmen having an informational meeting on the AEDs just prior to the town meeting?
I think that would be helpful for certain citizens, but those that are unable to attend, and just able to attend the town meeting, it's a loss there. I was hoping Mr. Franz would be here at some point, or speak to him further. I mean, he has 10 minutes. We typically allocate the 10 minutes. So, I mean, of his choosing, I think he could take some of that time to request to have, an outside speaker. I view that as a possibility. But, not having put this issue being put before me in the past, I think I would prefer if the citizens were allowed to give their input rather than just decree that an outside person could come in and speak to an issue. And I think if we do put it to some sort of vote, I think we should put a time parameter on it as well, as we do with the other speakers. So they would be allocated a certain amount of time to address an issue.
I thought what you had laid out in your email, Josh, sounded very fair. Because in your email, you did talk about putting it to the citizens. You did suggest a specific amount of time for each person to speak. And as you had said in your email, if you put it to the citizens, then, they have their voice. They can nay it or say it. I thought what you laid out was very fair.
I thought so too. And I'm wondering if, as I understand it, these speakers would just address what the cost might be of.
I don't know how to limit the scope of what
Right.
they would address, other than maybe, some sort of bullet points. But
Right.
then it gets sort of subjective in my position if that's strayed.
Yeah,
It's still
yeah.
germane.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think as Sherman had
you know, I have a conflict of interest in that. It's my dad that is potentially gonna put the letter out there. So once again, I'd be seeking some input, I think, from either from the governing body or from the citizenry. I think a way to go around that would be if a citizen was willing to read the letter, then they could, any citizen can speak for up to 3 minutes on a subject that's germane, and the letter, I think, would be appropriate, potentially. So if Bill passed off a letter to a citizen who would be in attendance, I see no reason why they couldn't read the letter. I personally think that would be the most appropriate way to handle it myself. And potentially the letter would be submitted for the record, you know, some sort of signed letter, just so we could have some veracity to it.
That sounds good to me. So Bill can't be here? Okay. All right.
So,
Well, at this juncture, unless I hear a negative response to from Mr. Franz, I'm going to assume that he's comfortable with the procedure that I've outlined. If he does get back to me and is uncomfortable with it or suggests otherwise, then we can continue this conversation. But I think we should just probably go with what's up there.
Okay.
But my question for the governing body was: when are the warrant articles? Are they out already? When could I have?
no, well, our
Good
next
to that.
meeting, we're having the budget hearing,
Okay.
so everything will be ready by then.
Okay.
Everything that includes money will be ready by then.
That's pretty much everything.
But that's pretty much everything. We don't have much going on. A few, put money in trust funds,
Okay.
stuff like that.
So that was sort of my next question, is there anything sort of out of the ordinary?
There's not, right?
I don't think so. Not
Right,
right.
Maria, we don't have anything that's out of the ordinary, right, this year? You still there?
She's calling me back, I believe.
Maria?
She's calling me back.
Oh. While we're waiting, do you need any?
We thought you were there, Maria.
Oh, we're rich.
I thought
Oh,
she
you're
was
rich in
getting
eggs?
rusty still.
We could always use some. I mean, we'll eat them.
How about ducks?
I love them.
All right, do you have ducks?
Yeah, well, they're not laying as well as
They're
yours.
not laying? Okay,
You got an awful nice sunshine right there.
Okay, I'll bring up, when I'm on my way to work tomorrow, at 8 o'clock, I'll drop off a dozen breakfast.
Oh, you'll see some happy people.
Okay.
Breakfast. How's it going with the video business? Pretty good. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be talking to the kids or whether in Connecticut or.
Oh,
You know, and they'll be on their cell
What,
phones.
are we up
And I'm
to date?
talking away to them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I realize that.
Yeah.
They're not talking back.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Just in the
No,
ether.
it's-
Yeah, it's,
Do you get a cell signal at your house?
just a little.
Yeah. I didn't think so.
Yeah, I'll be on my
No, I haven't signed it.
Wow. Oh.
They're on cell phone.
You know, we have trouble sometimes, we have Vonage, an internet telephone, and we have
Hello,
problems
you
with
there?
that
We got your back.
The internet
All right, you
signal
froze
has to
up
be
on
of a
us.
certain strength to get.
When did we lose you?
voice. And
I don't know,
sometimes
just
it'll
called.
be inconsistent,
Just
and like,
called on the phone.
Oh,
breaking up, and it's just a mess.
I don't know if you got it right now. She's froze up pretty good.
Again?
Are you
She's
frozen? Hello?
Yeah, she's frozen again. I wonder why.
The Wi-Fi's been in and out.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, okay.
It's been pretty sporadic.
I guess, I have one question regarding
Yeah.
public business as well. So let's wait till she comes back.
That's everyone.
I don't know, go ahead.
She might not
Check,
come back.
replace.
So go ahead, if she does, then we can
Sorry.
invite her.
I should.
We, For a while, it seemed like we were getting some
Tell her I'm
pretty
working on
steady
it.
correspondence from the town through the listserv. Is that still active? I
Yes.
haven't gotten any correspondence through the listserv in some time. You still, is that,
Isn't where the,
All right, thank you, Karen.
isn't that where the notifications come from? That there's a selectmen's
Thanks,
meeting.
She's the check.
Comes from the Google Calendar. All those things.
Yeah, all that stuff comes from the Google
Yeah.
Something different.
The most popular person.
okay.
So what comes through the listserv?
For a while, it was pretty active with various things. It seemed like it was a list
Are you
to
gonna
keep
run?
people internet sort of connected. I think it was probably maybe Artie was using it.
Oh.
Would you
And
like
so,
It won't even
I guess
come up then.
my suggestion is it's really easy for me to keep abreast with that tool. If, like, non-scheduled meetings could be advertised through the listserv, like the budget meeting or whatnot. It was something I was interested in. I didn't get the notice. So, but the listserv would help me.
Can't get it, don't worry about it, just
Okay, we'll have to look into it.
send
All right.
I don't know anything about it.
You might be right about Artie, so.
Oh, yeah, it was, I think, because it was associated for a while with emergency management.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll bet, yeah.
So he had an internet, a list of addresses that he would use on occasion for informational purposes.
The trouble with the Google Calendar notifications is that they're always day of, which often
I
is.
think I can go in and change that for everybody. I don't know. Are you there?
The last one we got came.
All right, we're gonna try this one more time.
Time that was like 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, right. Not helpful, and I get the notification that the trails are open, like at 4 in the afternoon. They're open that day, great, I'll run down for a 20-minute walk before it's dark. So,
Now, does that run through though currently to the town emails, the town.dorchester.net?
all right, are you there, Maria?
I am,
Okay, great.
so what did you guys, did anything get decided about the petition article?
As far as the petition article, unless I hear otherwise from Mr. Franz, I think we'll proceed as outlined. If he would like to enter in further discussion, I definitely will entertain that discussion.
And was a decision made about a letter from your dad?
I think what I would advocate is my father seeking an agent, some citizen to read his letter in the time that they have allocated. It sort of would just bypass any sort of conflict of interest, and I think it's totally legitimate for another citizen to read from a letter from him within the time limit and then submit the letter just so it's been signed so we can, there's no contesting the legitimacy of it.
I think that's,
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
So, and then Josh was talking about the listserv.
it's just a tool that I haven't heard much communication through, but it seemed like it was fairly active for a while when Artie was on the board. And I'm just wondering, for me particularly, the issue is the budget workshop I was unawares of and would like to know when those sort of events are happening. So I'm wondering if we could use the listserv for non-scheduled governing body events, just to try to get the word out, a week, 2 weeks before non-scheduled meetings occur.
Sure. Margaret, just from the wind issue, I believe Jan, sends out those messages, so again, he would be the contact, is my understanding. Sherman or Steve, do you know otherwise?
No.
No, we don't.
So I believe that's how it works, get the messages to him,
And
and
he puts them on, huh?
he puts them out.
Oh, okay. So we'll check on that. We'll email Jan and ask him if that's how it works. And then, yeah, we'll use it.
That would be helpful for me.
Okay, great.
Personally, I never used it. We never put anything on the listserv, so.
Okay, well, let's just be clear of what I'm talking about here. The listserv, to my knowledge, is something that you build a list, you know, people sign up
They
for it,
sign up for it,
and
right.
then one person or the governing body or whoever has the password has the power to email everybody on that list. So for like an announcement, emergency
Yeah.
services announcement, it would be a method to reach a bunch of people all at once.
Mhm. Okay, we'll look into that, find out how that works.
That sounds like something worth reviving. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, good, thanks for bringing that up.
That's it, huh, Josh?
That's it.
Yeah.
I get to go home.
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
I'll be out there.
okay,
Have a good one.
all right.
Okay, upcoming events, 29th is the last day to file for candidacy for office openings. Presidential primaries are on for February the 9th. And we have-
Does that mean all of our phones are gonna stop ringing on the 10th?
No.
God.
No, they'll be ringing until November. And we're having the budget hearing on, in 2 weeks, so
Okay.
we have to have, we're pretty much set on the budget. I mean, when we left, that was, so if you have any changes and looking over it, and that's gonna be the day that we're gonna vote to approve it, or,
Okay.
and we'll talk about, we have to warn of any warrant articles to
Okay.
call for an appropriation of any money, so we've got, you're keeping a list, aren't you, of warrant articles? As far as I know, we got the cemetery one, the mapping one, and the revaluation.
I have a list of about 11 or 12.
But there's 2 changes for treasurer for 3 years, town clerk, tax collector changed 3 years, that's not monies, but
That's the money, yeah.
there's the 2 from the planning board.
I'm just concerned with money. I'm just concerned with money.
But didn't we say we were gonna take, ask to take $7,000 out of the capital reserve for town hall? Because town hall has about, if we had everything done by Matt, it would be close to $14,000. I thought at one of the budget hearings, we said we'd take 7,000 from the capital reserve, take some out of the budget, but really hope people would step up and we paint the building ourselves. Okay, silence.
Well, I'm thinking, I don't remember if, making a decision on that. I remember talking about it, but I don't remember saying that that's what we do, because then we ended up on trying to use volunteers to paint the building. And
All
That's
that,
only part of the,
Maria, all that's noted here in the minutes of the January 9th budget hearing is discuss town buildings. Main building of concern is town hall.
right,
Chairwoman,
yeah, I read
yeah,
that.
you discussed painting a town hall to be a community project, but there's nothing here about a warrant article or moving
well,
any money.
No, but we did discuss, then maybe we should discuss it now, because.
yeah, let's discuss it now, because I thought we were going to spend the approximately $3,000 on the painting and glazing of the windows.
That's right, yeah, and we agreed to that already.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were gonna try to pay that out of the budget though, weren't we? We weren't gonna take
Yeah,
that.
right.
I don't have Matt's stuff with me right now, but there's rock, yeah, I mean, there's rock to be taken care of, there's the windows, and there's the painting. If we end up doing all of that, through Matt, we're looking at about $14,000. And I don't know what we're gonna do if people don't paint it. I mean, the building looks horrible, it needs to be painted. So
Maria, you and I will just have some long weekends painting.
I'm half willing to do that, but, so yeah, maybe we should talk about it now then. So look, I think there is, I don't know, Cookie, if you know offhand, I think there's about $8,000 in the capital reserve fund,
Is that at 8,000? Yeah.
something like that.
Jump on there.
What makes you say that the building needs to be painted? I mean,
Have you looked at it?
He looks at it, he lives across the street from it.
The church.
we have this area, every year that peels bad, and it's because of the overhang right there, where the water comes off the roof and it hits the concrete stepway there, and it bounces up against the building, and every year it peels and we paint it, except last year we didn't paint it, right, Murder?
No, I did, I touched it up.
Oh, you did? Okay.
No, we do that.
Okay, but other than that area, I mean, how about this side of the building that's facing the cemetery? Is that so bad that it has to be painted? Or the front, how about the front of the building? That's what everybody normally sees, the front. Does that look so
You know,
bad?
the building at this point hasn't been painted, based on what I'm told, so maybe somebody in the audience or you Sherman would know. My sense is that the building has not been painted in somewhere between 7 and 10 years. But I don't know if Darlene or Liz would have a
That's
sense of
probably
that.
about right.
Yes, that's about right, 7 to 10 years, right? Yeah,
Okay, well,
I'd say that, yeah.
okay, well, if everyone, you know,
I thought we did discuss that it was a priority to address some of the rot in the cells.
Yeah,
and then
That
there
budget
was
here.
the rod, I'm looking at the rod, he only estimated that his top estimate was 1,700. So the windows and the rod could be taken care of for about $5,000. So I guess, you know, I don't do
I think,
something we want to
wasn't there some money left
$5,000 for town
from the
hall, and
roof?
then,
Right.
Now, I don't know where that is, if it's in the capital reserve fund or if it's in the general fund.
Maria, hang on a second.
It's in capital reserve
It's
fund.
still in the capital
It is.
reserve fund.
Yeah, well, I think we took out
Just what
15,000,
you
but we
needed.
only
Just
spent 8
8.
Right.
on the roof, so there was 7 left from that, and there was 1,000 in there.
Okay,
So we had about $8,000.
that's what I remember talking about, but I couldn't.
And then there's the 8 that's in the building trust funds. So
That's what we're
there's
talking about.
15.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said it's still, okay.
Yes,
It's
there's
still
about
there,
$8,000
they take out-
there
Right.
They only took out what they spent.
for
Okay.
buildings.
I mean, if you can get people to volunteer to paint, that's awesome, but I think the
You think
rot.
I think, yeah, I think
if we.
If we can have that, just come
we
to the
paint
lot
it,
and stuff.
Darlene, will you make us some pies?
Yeah, we already
I
talked
would
about this.
I told you, I would absolutely cook whatever. I don't think I'll be climbing up on a ladder, although I am feeling better, so maybe.
No, you can stay on the ground. You can pick the low parts. We'll put the 14, 15-year-old kids up on the ladders. We have a whole flock of 15-year-old kids.
To take. Are we the agents to expend on that capital reserve fund?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, so, okay.
Oh, that's right, so we don't need a warrant article.
We don't need a warrant article.
Nope.
That's
Okay.
right.
What
That's
about
correct,
the,
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
What about the cheaper chapel service? That's money.
That's right, we were going to ask to take that out of the fund balance, right? That would be a money article too.
Right.
Okay. That $3,500 out of fund balance to fund the survey. What else?
And we as a board will be voting on all these
to recommend, yeah. Yeah, we either recommend or we don't.
Well, don't we use a tally?
No,
I thought I saw, an annual report where it was, 2 to 1, or, do we use a tally, or we just,
well, we're not required to use a tally.
okay.
We can just recommend or not recommend.
Or we could say recommended by a vote of 2 to 1,
We could.
if we felt like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we need a warrant article for the reval too, right? For CAI and also for the reval?
Yes. And for the cemetery.
Right. And we need, this isn't money, I guess, but we also need a warrant article to accept the cemetery donation, correct?
Yes.
And, you brought up a warrant article for that RSA 31, which I thought was a really great RSA. It made me wonder if we had been awarded the Moose Plate grant, would we have been able to accept it? Because the last Moose Plate was awarded to the Historical Society or the Heritage Commission, correct? And so it just made me, hopefully we have.
That's right. That's right. Oh, we do.
We know now that we did have an article on RSA 31?
Yes, 1993.
Wow. As I mentioned in my email, I think we really need to keep a logbook of these kind of esoteric warrant articles so that we and future boards know what's at our disposal.
We do. We need a listing of the warrant articles. Like a book,
Just
that's
said we do though, but.
we have the books, you just have to go by book. If we had a notebook where all the warrant articles were just listed there, like they have, the town clerk has one for the town meetings. They have a book, you just open the book and there's all the way back to, they go pretty far back too, don't they?
Yeah.
All the town meeting minutes are in this one book. That you can, or maybe there's 2 books now.
Well,
There's several books.
Several books.
Several books, yeah.
Some leather bound and who knows
Yeah,
what it's
well,
like.
And I would think, I wasn't asking that you would put any special time into this, Margaret, but for example, now we know that we have RSA 31, we just start making a list as we become aware of these warrant articles on these very specific topics, we just start making a list so that next time the question comes up, did we pass an article for RSA 31, we can just go to the book instead of, or what roads were discontinued or not discontinued. That, I just thought, as Sherman just pointed out, that would be easier than having to look through 20 books to see if it's in there.
Yeah. So we're not allowed, we can't, we can accept grants and stuff like that. We can't accept property though.
Uh-huh.
That's the one exclusion. That's why we have to go to the town and ask the town. if they
Right,
want
right.
to accept the donation of the cemetery land. We can't just take it ourselves.
Yeah, we ran into that with the cheaper chapel.
That's correct, yeah.
The one exception to that, though, is when we don't have to go to the town when we take over property for unpaid
Taxes.
taxes. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
okay.
The last issue I had was with the treasurer's report. I don't know if you guys noticed, I did shoot Cheryl an email about 5:45, I guess. She's got the list of balances as of January 28th, and the
I thought she did that.
It still hasn't happened apparently.
Well, she'll have to answer your email. I saw that you sent it to her, right?
Yes,
I assume she'll answer your email.
right. But at some point, we have to accept the treasurer's report, right? Correct? And so I'd like to not accept it until we get clarification on the conservation fund.
Well, we don't have one to accept anyway.
Well, she emailed it to us.
Yeah, well, it's just for our knowledge. It's not anything that we accept or anything.
Okay.
As you can see, our authority over the treasurer is pretty limited.
Right. Yes.
Well, let's see how she responds to your question, Maria.
Which I put to her numerous times.
Well, you just have to keep asking, I guess. We haven't gotten a reply yet on the deposit from the trustees either.
Right.
So I don't know how that stands, where that deposit is.
Right.
Beth White said she was going to talk to Cheryl and try to make her understand that it should be in the 2015 budget, not in the 2016 budget. We don't need it now. We needed it last year. So, I don't know, we'll see how it plays out.
Does Beth have any idea?
Thank goodness it's not like last year, right, when we were, every penny counted.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
This is a lot of money, $11,800, and last year we would have been going crazy for this money, but I mean, this isn't gonna kill us, but still, I mean, it should go toward what it was meant to go toward.
Right.
It's the town, actually, it wasn't the selectmen, it was the town that said to use the funds to buy the truck.
Right.
So we'll see how it pans out.
Does Beth have any idea when she will finalize last year's figures?
I think what we see right now are the final figures for expenditures.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did tell me though that we actually got more than $5,000 in for emergency management grants because there was a grant money that came in February of 2015 that we weren't even aware of for $2,000.
Oh, wow.
So we actually got grant refunds in the amount of $7,000 for emergency management.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that'll make up a little bit of the 11,800.
Great.
So at this point, I'm assuming those are the figures, and those are the figures that I'm going to use for the budget hearing in 2 weeks, unless they change. Okay? You still there? Oh, she's froze up again.
I'm still here. Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, those figures that we have, even if they're not exact, they're pretty darn close. They're gonna be pretty darn
Yeah.
close. So, they're not gonna change my mind. And I don't think they'll change it all at this point. I think everything's in there now.
Okay.
So that's all that I had. Did you have anything
No.
you wanted to talk about?
Uh-uh.
No? Okay. Anybody in the public have anything that they want to discuss? Announcements, Cookie?
The school deliberative session, budget and warrant articles will be Saturday at 9 o'clock at the Indian River School.
This Saturday?
This
huh?
Saturday.
Okay.
Okay,
Everyone's interested in coming.
okay. And the checklist people are going and everything?
Actually, Roy Russell has been sworn in.
Oh,
And
yeah?
he's going to be doing it because of that other meeting that Sean needs to have with the other supervisors. Some kind of mandated meeting at 11, so she didn't want to miss that, so, maybe there'll be 2 of the initial onset, but Roy will stay for
Oh,
that.
one of those training?
Yes,
No.
No.
what is it?
It's a meeting of the supervisors, the checklist, they have to be in session
Oh, because of the primary?
Right.
Yeah.
Where
And
someone-
the
someone
10
timed
days
it for the
before
primary?
primary, they have to
Oh,
have
I
a
see.
session.
It's only from 11 to 11:30 or something stupid, but it's right in the middle of the
Oh, okay.
school board section.
So he's gonna be all by himself down there?
I didn't plan that very well. I had 5
Well,
times
if
the
there
other
is
day.
another Dorchester resident there,
Uh-huh.
Bonnie Harbrook, the moderator, could swear them in to help Roy.
Oh.
But it's just to verify registered voters, correct?
Right.
There's no changing.
And it's only
No.
if they need to do an actual
Yeah.
vote,
Oh.
and not just a card vote, you know, they have to do a written vote.
So
You can probably handle it, because there's usually nobody from Dorchester.
No, it's whoever is there for supervisors and myself and Amber.
Right.
So, but Maria did come last year, so.
I've been to them for a long time, I have to say, and I'm not coming Saturday because we're open, we have to do our stuff on Saturday, so.
Okay, anything else? No?
Ah,
Should we wait for her to come back or
Well,
no?
but the app won't load, is the problem.
Okay. Well, we're pretty much shut down, right? Okay, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And we can abstain.